Tyres are a most important part on the car. They're what keeps you on the road. You can have the most expensive car in the world, but if you haven't got the right tyres on it, it's a waste of time.
I'm in the tyre business. To me, it's the most important thing. It's the only contact you have with the road. Getting the right tyre for the right car, depending on how you drive the car, is the most important thing.
Well, the Super Sport seemed a lot more assured in the way it made the car handle. You felt a lot more comfortable with it, and the competitor just was struggling that little bit more.
Definitely the Michelin Pilot Sport held grip for a much longer period of time. The other tyre gave way much quicker, so personally I'd say that there's a big difference between the Michelin and the other tyre.
Well, the main difference that I found between the Pilot Sport, Super Sport and the competitor's tyre was with the Pilot Sport you just had more confidence going into bends, and the car just seemed to hold a lot better around the bends, whereas the competitor's tyre felt a bit twitchy and didn't really give me much confidence to go hard into the bends. So the Michelin was far better.
I never expected to notice the difference, in fairness. I'm not one for subtleties, but it was so obvious that anyone would notice the difference between the levels of grip on the two tyres.
Again, it's a similar sort of thing. The competitor product, which I tried first, obviously stopped about 2.5 metres further than the Super Sport, and it just seemed to squirm a little bit under braking, whereas the Super Sport was dead straight.
Braking, certainly you could see from the readings inside the car that I was stopping much quicker. It was at least 2 metres difference between one and the other, which is about sort of 10% or so.
The wet braking test for myself, there was a big difference. There was 3 metres difference between my braking on the Michelin to the competitor's tyre, and at the end of the day, 3 metres in a car is the difference between saving someone's life and not, especially mine. So a big difference.
Again, I went in the Michelin car first, and no matter what I asked out of it, it just held it. I could feel it start to go, but I could push it and take it that little bit further. At the Pirelli car, it was, as soon as I put the foot down, I could feel it start to wanting to go its own way, whereas the Michelin car held the road out. You know, so I was impressed.
The Pilot Super Sport was much more, it was just much more stickier. It just felt like the car was a lot truer around the bends, and it didn't feel twitchy at all, whereas with the competitors' tyre, it felt a lot twitchier.
I drove a car with the Bridgestone first, and it was all over the place, but with the Michelin, it was unbelievable. The difference was unbelievable.
The actual product of the Michelin Pilot Super Sport is brilliant tyres, and they've compared it with the rest of the top leading brands and the competitors, and by far they've topped the lot. You know, in all the braking distances, all the track days, certainly noticed the difference in the handling of the car. It's a great tyre. Without actually coming on this day, I would have just thought Michelin are a good tyre, but these are brilliant.
I think this Pilot Super Sport is the best tyre around. It's worth every penny. I know it costs a bit more, but it's got to be worth it. I would buy them for my own car if you made it in that size.
So there's a definite difference in a number of aspects. The wet braking, phenomenal difference, 2.5 metres. The wet driving around the circuit, it's stuck to the road better, and just the circuit as well, it definitely is an improvement on the competitors.
Michelin, a better way forward.